Hello, hello, hello. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? This is Joe Barnes here at a beautiful, gorgeous, bright, sunny, or actually completely dark and can't see outside 4 o'clock in the morning. And this is for this very very early start is for the UK audience, so that it's not 2 o'clock in the morning your time. So I do hope we've got plenty of UK people on the call to justify me getting up at this crazy time in the middle of the night. So hello and welcome to everybody. Yes, to people who are asking, it will be recorded and we will send the recording out after the webinar. Okay? So hello everybody. I'm just having a look to see who's with us this evening. I've got a few from the US at the moment, and a couple from Australia, and New Zealand, and US. And please tell me there's some UK people on the call. Yay, Neil! Neil's in Scotland. Yippity! Wow. What's? Oh, hello. We have I think Neil Farley has just joined us, ladies and gentlemen. My lovely assistant for this evening's webinar. Hello, Neil.
Oh, hello, Joe. Can you hear me?
I can. Yes. How are you?
Not too bad. I didn't realise you just popped me as presenter.
Oh,
or nearly.
Oh, we have made you presenter. Yes. It's going to be Neil presented this evening. Yes. So let me just actually make me presenter, Neil, because you have been made presenter. So one sec. Let's make me the presenter. Yes. Thank you very much. Okay. You are now the organiser, Neil. Okay? Actually, no, you're not. You're a panellist. Okay, let's make you the organiser. There we go. Okay, are you still there, Neil? We can't hear you anymore, so. Morris, I'm in Thailand. Okay, alright guys, well, just having a quick look. Hello, hello, hello. Lovely. Thank you. Wonderful. Oh, good. Helen's from Manchester. Awesome. Okay. All right, guys. Oh, everybody's saying hello, Neil Farley. Hello, Neil. Hello, Neil. Hello, Neil. Hello, Neil. Al says, Joe, you sound under the weather today. No, Al, I'm absolutely fine. It may just be that it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm just trying to wake myself up. So I'm just giving myself a couple of minutes to say hello. If you like this at 4 a.m, why are you really chipper, says TJ. Oh gosh, one person says I sound under the weather, one person says I sound chipper. I am chipper. I feel great. I feel fine. So this is all good. All right, guys. Look, let's crack on, okay? Because I don't want to I don't want to spend too long having a look at all of these. It's wonderful to see you all. Thank you very very much for coming and spending the next hour or so with me tonight as we run through the social plugins. Now, what I'd like to do is start this webinar with a small disclaimer, with a small caveat, and that is that we live in a beautiful world of technology where, as much as we try, it doesn't matter what we do. As soon as we do something live, you can absolutely bet your bottom dollar that something's going to break, okay? Especially when it comes to technical stuff, alright? So I'm doing this webinar live. This is not a PowerPoint presentation, so it's going to be a nice interactive webinar. And I'm actually, what I'm going to do is throughout this webinar, I'm actually leaving my little questions box open so that I can actually see when, if you guys can follow with what I'm doing, because obviously I'm going to be going through exactly how to do this stuff. I want to make sure you guys can follow what I'm doing and maybe take the odd question along the way, provided it's obviously prevalent to what I'm doing at the time. So I'm actually going to be keeping the old control panel open. so I can see that. And I'm going to be walking through with you this evening very quickly just kind of what social plugins are and how they work. I'm going to show you how to create an app, okay, on Facebook. I'm going to show you how to add the Facebook apps. I'm not going to go through every single one because a lot of them are the same, but I'm going to show you the basics. Then we're going to look at the WordPress plugin for Facebook, and then we're going to just quickly outline Open Graph for you. Okay? So I am just going to run through that. Cool, just checking. Cool, okay. Alright, so let me just push that to one side a little bit. Okay guys, so what we're going to do is we're going to start over here in the social plugins page. So before I start, is everybody ready? Are you ready? Can you hear me? Can you see my screen? Can you hear me? I am recording. Ready, all good, boogie on. Yes, awesome. Brilliant. Oh, and before we do start, actually, guys, yeah, I can hear you. Excellent. Yes. All right, fantastic, awesome. Dominic, just turn me down a little bit then, my love. Dominic said you're really loud. Okay, before I start, guys, can I just ask a really quick question? I just want to check who is currently a member of the SNA on the call. It's always good for us when we send out these webinars just to find out how many people are popping on these webinars or already are actually members and who aren't. So that would be member and grateful, says Ali. Thank you. Bill, yeah, paying member. Yeah, paying member. Sorry, not free member. Paying member. Great. Okay, keep them coming, guys. Only 65% voted. Where's the rest of you? Keep voting so I can just get a really good idea of who's on the call this evening. Awesome. Okay, that's great. So we've got about 60-40, which is all good. And I'm actually members, by the way. I'm very excited because later on today the brand new competition app is being launched, as is our brand new timeline creator. Very excited about that. Anyway, alright guys, so let's crack on. So we are here in the social plugins page. So to get to this page, you guys need to go to this link, and let me paste that in over here. Alright, so that is the social plugins page, okay? And these have all of the different social plugins that you can go and place on your website wherever you want them to go. Now, why would you want to put social plugins on your website?
Joe?
Yeah?
Joe, I think you have a quick poll still up.
Oh, sorry. Close poll. Thank you, Neil. Apologies, ladies and gents, about that. Okay, all right, everybody can see now. So here is my social plugins page, okay, and I've just sent you the link for that. And the reason that you want social plugins on your actual website is because it allows, it's taking Facebook out of Facebook essentially and onto your website, yeah? So basically, when people hit the like button on your website, what it does is it creates a story within Facebook on their timeline wall. So if they come and hit like your website, then other people are going to be able to see that on their wall, stroke in their newsfeed or ticker bar. And it also, once you connect your website with Facebook, this is the clever little trick. So I come and hit like on your website, say. What's going to happen is, provided you use the right code, and I'm going to run through with you this evening how we set these up and the code that we use, it also makes your web page searchable within Facebook. So now when people, type in a search term, then it's actually going to bring up your web page if it's obviously relevant to that, in the actual, Facebook search bar. So is Facebook going to become a search engine is the question. So anyway, so these are all the different plugins that you can put in. So you've got your basic like button, so people can just like the actual page. You've got your send button, which allows you to actually send the page in a message form to your friends. You've got the subscribe button. So if you've got subscribe turned on within Facebook, then people can actually subscribe to you directly from your web page. The Facebook comments, which is really, really big, okay? This is the one really you want to be placing on your web and on your blog. This turns your blog into something that's really dynamic. It allows you to give immediate customer response, customer service, and also all of those comments get shown on the customer's wall. Okay, the activity feed, it shows wherever you put this activity feed, when people come and look on your website, it's going to show their friends' activity on your site. So it's going to show whether other friends have liked and commented and shared and things like that. Okay. The recommendations plugin, I don't really use this. It gives users personalized suggestions for pages on your site they may like. So if users have gone through your site and gone through different pages, I haven't used this to any great degree. The like box, of course, is absolutely huge. This is what most people place on the right hand side of their blogs, their widget, the little like box that allows people to actually like your page. Yeah, and see the latest stream of your Facebook page. Registration is to do with actually logging into your website. Facepile just shows all the profile pictures of the users who've liked your page, and then the live stream plugin allows users to share activity and comments. So if you're doing like a live event, this is like a plugin so people can comment, but this is actually being taken away on the 5th of September, and we're simply going to have the comments box. Okay, so actually, and to be honest with you, it makes sense because all the live stream is just another comments box really. So they're going to be getting rid of live stream and just using comments. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is show you how you'd go in and actually set these up. Now, could I just ask, and this is a quick yes/no actually, I didn't set this up as a poll, perhaps I should have done, but could I just ask, how many people have set up an app before? Can you tell me yes if you have set up an app before? Yes, 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 no, yes, no. Wow, quite a few yeses. No, yes, no, yes, no, no, yes, yes, yes. Great. Okay, so quite a few of you have actually set up apps. Some of you have got no experience at all. That's fine. And also then my next question as well to you all as well. Sorry about that. Put your word head on, Joe. Is, do you know the difference between when you create the apps? Okay. Is that a type of gorilla? Says Graham. Very funny. In fact, second question: how many of you have actually set up the social plugins as well? Yes or no in the text box for have you set up an actual social plugin before? Okay, a lot more no's on that one. Okay, great. So a lot of you have set up apps, but there's quite a lot of you who've not set up social plugins. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, why do this first, Joe? Why not do the Facebook WordPress plugin? Because it kind of covers this and we don't need to know this, right? Well, yep, I suppose that is true. If we just use the WordPress Facebook plugin, the whole point of it is to make the process easier. However, I don't know about you guys, but I like to understand what I'm doing. Yeah? So what I'd like to do is show you how to create these apps first. And then what we'll do is we'll go and have a look at the WordPress plugin, which obviously kind of makes the whole thing easier. Okay, no. Alright, so what I'm going to do, is I'm going to, I'm going to show you how to set up the app, and then I'm going to show you how to create these, and it's actually a lot easier than you think. So we head over here to apps, and I've just got a gazillion apps here, and you can just ignore all of these because they're just test apps, and so I know I'm showing my secrets and stuff, but it doesn't matter because they don't do anything, they don't go anywhere. So all you do to create an app, and to get onto the apps, by the way, this is the link you need. Now, if you've never ever created an app before in your life, okay, and you go in for the first time to create an app, what Facebook may ask you is for a verification phone number or a credit card. And what this is for, they don't store this information. What they're trying to do here is verify that you are you. So the best thing to do is put in a telephone number, and then what they do is they send you a text message with an access key, and then you can basically type in the access key, they're happy that it's you, and boom, you've now got the authorization to set up an app, okay? And we had quite a lot of problem with this because I think we were in Australia at the time, and I can't actually remember what the problem was, but I know that we didn't have the relevant mobile phone, so we had to actually get somebody in the US with a mobile phone to, we had to put in their telephone number and get them to then Skype us the code so we could verify it. So there's always a way around things, guys, okay? So anyway, so we're in here, you're in apps, okay? Obviously you won't see all these apps because you don't have those. Simply click on create new app, and then you want to put in your app name, okay? So let's put Joe, let's put social plugin web, okay, we'll call it that. Even social plugin web, and I'm actually going to give the namespace exactly the same name. Awesome, and I don't want any hosting. Okay, so you put in your app name and you put in your namespace. Now this is really important because actually your namespace is going to be used over here on your WordPress plugin. Okay, so we need to give our app a name, obviously something relevant to the app, and a namespace, and then you just simply click continue, and then you have to do this little captcha, YTJPG, and submit. And that's it. Your app has been created. Okay, that's all you have to do. Your app has been created. It's as easy as that to build an app. She says, I'm not talking about a full-blown app, of course, here. I'm just literally talking about creating the basics to create an app. And here you can see your app ID, and here you can see your app secret key. Again, all of this very important, especially when we get over to the WordPress Facebook plugin, because we need to connect all of this. Now, before we move on, what we want to do is tick this website with Facebook login. Okay, we want to come down here and we want to put in the site URL that you're going to be connecting your apps with. So for mine, it's a test blog, but it's on joebarnesonline.com, and it's actually test 2. I can't remember whether it actually wants that bit, that last bit, or whether just the root domain. Let me just put that in. Must put in the HTTP, guys, obviously, and save changes, and there we go. Right, that's fine. So yes, it wanted the actual website name that I'm going to be connecting this to, and that is actually this test blog that we have set up. So I've done that, I've clicked save changes, and now this app is ready for me to use in order to go and create my social plugins. Okay, everybody with me so far? Yep, okay. Awesome, 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 awesome. Okay. All right. So if as most of you get it, if you're the odd person and you're just a little bit, you're not sure, just hold your questions, follow along, and Andrea says you need a new app ID for each app you create. Every time you create an app, Andrea, you will automatically be given a new app ID. Every single app comes with its own app ID. So these have to be used with a WordPress platform. No, not at all. Oh gosh, no. I'm going to be showing you WordPress because we're looking at the Facebook WordPress for blog. But you can, when you create an app, this is for anything. This is for apps on Facebook. This is for creating page. This is for mobile apps. This is for website apps. This is anything at all. Okay? Channing's put, you only checked website. Yeah, because I'm only using it with a website, Channing. Okay, I'm not using it for mobile, and I'm not using it for iOS or Android. Okay. Yes, there will be a replay. Yes, you will be able to access later. Comment: do you need one for each plugin? No, you don't. Okay, you do not need one for each plugin. Chuck. Yes, there will be a recording. Hold on a minute, Chuck. I'll come back to you. How do you change the little photo for the apps? You just click edit. Okay, so you just click edit up here and you can change the photo, or edit down here and you can edit the icon. Okay. I'm just having a little look. Lisa's saying you appear to be having a challenge with the voice. What, you can't hear me? We're going to be talking about wp.org, Dominic. Okay, Tom, can you give a clear definition of app and plugin? Okay. Alright, so an application is a piece of code that, to be honest with you, I mean, they're very similar, apps and plugins. An app is an application that you are creating in order to build a function, okay? In this case, on Facebook. So these are Facebook applications we are building, right? So what these applications actually are. So for instance, this app I've created here, what I could do now is go on to build a fully functioning, huge kind of application which you see every day on Facebook. So for instance, I'm going to give an example of Spotify, which is a music channel, right? And they have an application which basically means that every single time somebody listens to a track on Spotify, it shows up in Facebook that that person is listening to that track, and somebody else can play that track from within Facebook. Okay, so what Spotify have done is they have built an application, a bespoke specified application that allows them to to create this function that then works on Facebook. Yeah. With a plugin, that is something where everything is simplified into a kind of a generic code that everybody can then go and use and plug in to their websites and all the rest of it. Yeah, so a plugin is almost like a simplified public version of a basic app, but an app you can go in and with the right coding and everything make it extremely bespoke to your specific needs. I'm just going to get our lovely technical assistant Neil to come on and tell me whether he feels that that is a reasonable explanation. Neil Farley?
Hi, Joe. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi there, Joe. Hi. Yeah, that sounds like a very good description. Completely. Yep.
Awesome. Guys, I have to say I'm not a coder in any way, stretch or form, and I've just kind of learnt this as I'm going along. So I'm kind of explaining this to you and hoping that I get some of the information right. Also, Neil, Chuck's asked a question over here where you've got your display name and your namespace and your app domain, yeah, and then your categories.
Okay, yes.
He's just asking
Right.
what the relevance of these are here, your app domain and your category.
Certainly the app domain is you would normally put in if you were creating an app that could first of all be available on one domain, but also with the Facebook, the new Facebook Connect, the One Connect type application connection, you can now cross domain. You can actually go from one domain to another without causing problems, which you not normally you can't do. When you create an application directly to one website or one domain, you normally aren't allowed to swap between one domain to another, because obviously there's a security problem, and then you could have issues with a virus type of thing happening, and normally that wouldn't occur. But with Facebook on this they've now created this app domain function where you can have multiple domains added in as a kind of list in that field.
Oh, okay.
The category is Facebook's general attempt to categorize some of the issues, some of the applications which lead on to the new app pages.
App Center.
Although they've the App Center, where they've extended that quite a lot more though than that. But this is where they started, and it may be that this is being changed at a later date.
So do I, just a quick one, because I can't remember whether I need to put my domain in there for this or just leave it in there.
Generally, you wouldn't normally need the domain, because you're not going to reconnect. You're not going to send data straight from Facebook back out as what they call a redirect, or an application feedback from any site on Facebook straight over to your other sites. Come in the other direction.
Yeah. Okay. So guys, this is important to note that what I'm showing you, yeah, with these kind of things is the kind of what you need to know to create your plugins, right? Because to go any deeper and start to go into all of these things, you're actually talking about now building the kind of app that talks between Facebook and your web page, and your web page and Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah. Although Joe, just one thing.
Yeah.
When you get to the Facebook WordPress social plugin, you will be filling that mobile web in. That's one of the items you fill in for the mobile web.
Oh yeah. Okay. But that's on the sheet, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, it does refer to that, and you obviously fill that in when you get there.
When you get there,
but
yeah.
Obviously at this present moment, it's that's, you don't need it for any standard like button or anything like that.
So answering Melissa's question, because I just want to make sure I get this right as well. She's put, can you use this app for all those mobile, web, website and Android? But I'm presuming that you would, obviously we under the instruction of Facebook, come and use the mobile web now for the WordPress plugin. But I presume you would only actually start to go into these if you're actually creating an app that you're going to be using on the mobiles, correct?
Well, actually, it's slightly different than, or similar, but kind of a bit different than that. You actually have to have the Android app code already done, and you're actually just adding the code that you've created as an Android app so that Facebook can connect to it.
I see here, yeah. Look, the key hash, package name, class name. So
that's an actual application that you've created that's sort of like virtually in the app stores.
Right, so you actually have to build the Android app first and get all the coding before you can actually enable it here in Facebook. Okay.
Essentially, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. Fine. Okay, and I presume the iOS is the same.
Yes, it is. That's obviously a lot more complicated in terms of timescales, because obviously, and get it published and things.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I am self-hosted, says Ros. Will this apply? Yes, this is all for self-hosted, Ros. Okay. How do we get or create the icons? What, these? There's the little pictures, Doris. Is that what you're talking about? If I click edit on that one, that is a 75 by 75 pixel icon. So you just need to create a little icon, or get a designer to create you a little icon, or go into PowerPoint and build a little icon, or get a little photo, whatever, but it needs to be 75 pixels by 75, and then edit icon is 16 pixels by 16. Mark, you know, is it Fuit or Fue? Mark's given a good explanation here. He says an app is an interface between you and Facebook which allows you to communicate with Facebook via your code, program or plugin. Okay, we're not talking about QR codes tonight, Michael, sorry about that. Do you need more than one app for the same domain for each app? You don't need, if you're talking about social plugins, then you don't need separate apps for each plugin. Okay, you can just create one app. So you could call it your blog, for instance, my blog app, and then you can use that app ID and that app for all of your actual plugins. Mark, why don't you show a real life example? I'm getting there, Mark. I'm getting there. I'm just having a look. Okay. A plugin is a piece of add-on code for a WordPress site that performs a particular process or function. It's not just for WordPress though, Mark, because these social plugins you can go and put on any web page. It doesn't have to be WordPress. So plugin is synonymous with WordPress because we've always had WordPress plugin, WordPress plugin, WordPress plugin. But also there's these social plugins that are here on Facebook that you can plug into. You can plug in to any web page. Plug in really is the key here. Plug in. So it's just something that's essentially been a code that's been written for you to make it simpler for you to be able to go and perform a function on your web page. Okay. Does that all make sense? So can I carry on now, guys? Otherwise I will be here. If you can just keep some of your questions now to the end, okay? And then I'm going to continue because I'm conscious that I don't want to spend too much time on each point, so that we can get through all of the content tonight. Okay, so for those of you who actually aren't too worried about the difference between plugins and apps and actually don't want to know the in-depth details of all the different things, this is all you need to do to get your app off the ground. Create the app. Your display name and namespaces come up there, your emails come up there, and you put in your website that you're going to connect with your app, and there is your app created. Okay, so we're now going to leave this and we're going to go back to the social plugins. So I'm going to go back to documentation and hit on social plugins down here. And so the first thing we're going to do is create a very, very simple like button. So I'm going to click here and click on like. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I want to put in that URL of the blog that we're going to be using tonight to test. Okay. So this is the URL that you actually want people to like. Okay. Now, you can at this point include a send button, but the send button means you can only use XFBML, okay? And I'm going to go through with Neil's help and explain to you the difference between iframes and the XFBML and HTML5 in a second, okay? We're not going to use the iframe code tonight. You could use the iframe code. It's very, very simple and you can use it certainly within your web pages, okay? The problem with the iframe code is it is the most basic of the codes, and I believe that if you do use that, then when people come and click like on your page, then your page will not be searchable now within Facebook, okay? Because it's just a basic code allowing them to complete that function. So the story will show on their page, but there won't be so much integration with Facebook. So I kind of urge you to, right from the start, use the slightly more complicated code, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm just going to go for a standard layout size. You can obviously choose whichever one you want. You can just have the button count there, or the box count if you want. I'm just going to go for the standard one. You can choose the width, obviously, decide whether you want to show faces or not. There's no faces to show yet because nobody's liked it. Choose like or recommend in here under the verb. Change the colour scheme from light to dark, depending obviously on your web page. Change the font if you want to change the font, and then click Get Code. Okay, so you've got 3 choices of your code. You've got HTML5, XFBML and iframe. Now you can use iframe. We can't use it on this one because I have actually clicked that send button. But had I have not clicked that send button up here, if I untick that and then click on Get Code, now I can use iframe. Okay, that's now going to work with the iframe. But there's some of the plugins that don't work with the iframe code, and as I said, there's not as much integration with Facebook. So the iframe code is great for a really basic function on your page, okay, but it's not as flexible and doesn't allow as much as either of these codes. So what's the difference between HTML5 and XFBML? Not a great deal, except HTML5 is like the latest in HTML language, and therefore, you know, it's probably best that you start using that. Now, Neil, is there any more of a technical explanation that you can give between HTML5 and XFBML, or is that pretty much all we need to know? Neil?
Generally, that's basically it. But currently, HTML5 is not kind of like in all browsers. So some of the odd browsers that people use, obviously the Firefoxes, the Chrome, the Safari, Internet Explorer, will all use functions or parts of functions of HTML5, but it's not all of the, you know, doesn't encompass all browsers. Whereas XFBML is, generally speaking, part of Facebook's code, that they obviously have a great deal of different browsers that are springing up, that have, you know, access or reasonably access to XFBML up from the FBML standard previously.
So in your technical opinion at the moment, which one would you use?
I would try to use HTML5 in generally speaking, because of the extra features that you can get with that. Obviously it's not used in this case, but some of the extended video features and the image features, and the extra coding you can sort of incorporate, you know, the scripts and things like that you can get on your website, sort of looking at Open Graph and some of these microcode things coming from your WordPress blogs or any other websites you have, are getting, you know, scraped by the little Google robots, as well as Facebook. You know, obviously can gather data from it. So HTML5 is really getting pretty good, providing all of your kind of niche users really sort of utilize all the standard browsers and not some odd weirdo ones. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That's the only main issue with that.
Okay, thanks very much, Neil. Awesome, great.
Okay.
So there you go, great explanation, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to use HTML5 tonight. But what you'll notice actually between XFBML and HTML5 is you're going to be putting in this little code here, which is called JavaScript SDK. And actually there's no difference at all between those two. They're exactly the same. Okay. Alright, so what we want to do first of all is use the correct app ID, and we've created an app, so we need to use this drop down box here and select the correct app ID. Now what that does is it changes this number in here, okay, and ensures that this is using the correct app. Now, why do we want to do that? Because what Facebook very cleverly can do is we can go back and have a look at this app on Facebook and get insights for the users. Okay, so any users that use this, that come and like and comment and all that kind of stuff, we can actually go and get stats and see what's happening on our page through this actual app on Facebook. Okay, so that's why we want to use the correct app ID so that we can actually keep a check on what people are doing. So the first thing we want to do, and this is probably the most complicated part of this, once you've done this, you can go in now and set up all of your social plugins so easily, it's crazy. So is everybody concentrating? Okay. I'm just looking over here. All right. Yep. Everybody concentrating. Yep. Okay. All right. Okay. Good. I'm going as slowly as I can. Okay, guys. All right. So I'm going to copy this piece of JavaScript SDK code. Okay. And I'm going to head over to my WordPress site. So this is a brand new test site that I just put up last night. And what we're going to do, and if you're not confident doing this, then please make sure you get a developer or a programmer to do this for you. Okay? Don't guess. Don't play around with it. If you feel, nah, that's too much for me, it's just above my head, then there's absolutely no shame, guys, in just calling a friend, getting somebody on Facebook and saying, can you do me a favour and just nip into my WordPress site and set up my JavaScript for me on my main page. Okay? So don't play with your blog and ruin it and make changes that you just don't know how to make. Okay? Do make sure, if you feel techie enough to do this, go and do it. If you're not confident, get somebody else to do it. Okay? But what we're going to do is we're going to go into Appearance over here, and we're going to come all the way down to the editor. So we're actually going into the editor of the WordPress blog. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and find my header file, which is down here, and it's called header.php. Now, even WordPress themselves advise you against playing around inside the actual theme codes. Okay, so you do need to make sure that you feel confident to do this, or you could really stuff up your entire blog. Okay. And what we're looking for is the body tag, because the JavaScript needs to go in underneath the body tag. Okay, so here you can see this little section here that says body, and then you've got this little question mark and PHP body class, etc., etc. I'm just going to go underneath that, and I'm going to copy my JavaScript code into here. Okay, and that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to touch anything else in there. I'm just going to copy that JavaScript code underneath the body tag in my header.php file, and then click Update File. Now, I repeat one more time, if you're looking at that and you're thinking, I have not got a clue, then just remember what you need to know is it's this JavaScript SDK code. This is the JavaScript which is going to allow all of your social plugins to connect to Facebook and do all the relevant things that it needs to do to ensure it's integrated properly. Okay, so when you go and ask somebody else to do it, you can tell them the right terminology. I just need the JavaScript SDK code of my apps placed within the body tags of my WordPress blog in order for me to go and set up my social plugins. Okay, so you get somebody else to do it. So everybody with me? Everybody with me? Yep, awesome. Okay, good. All right, awesome. Yeah, it's another great tip by I Am Big Guy. What an awesome name. I Am Big Guy says, that's just brilliant. Says what you could do is copy this whole header code out onto like a notepad or a text edit file first. Go and find the body, place the JavaScript in it, and then copy it back in. Yeah, just so that you don't go in there and mess it up. Alright? You could get a coder on Fiverr.com. I think I'd probably just go on to
Joe,
Facebook. Yeah.
you can use, well, certainly for PCs, I'm not certain about Macs, you can use things like Control F, which pops a little box up, and you can type actually less than symbol body, and it will actually go and find the first instance of that text on the page you're on.
Yeah, so you can click, so it's a Control F, or we would use Control F, and then we could type in body, and it would come and find this body. Yeah?
Yeah, that should.
Great. Chuck's saying you're a little confused as to where the WordPress came from. Do you mean I just created a WordPress blog, Chuck? Yeah? So this is just a normal WordPress blog that I've created. Okay. Sorry, Command F on a Mac. Yep. Okay. So appearance, editor, header.php, and then that goes in here. We've updated the file, and now, guys, we are ready to go. We are firing on all cylinders, and we are just away. So I'm going to add a new post. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to do it on a page. I'm going to do it on a page for now, okay? It doesn't really matter whether you do it on a post or a page, but I'm just going to add a new page, and I'm going to call it FB Social Plugin page, okay? So this is my test page for Facebook Social Plugins. So now that we've created that JavaScript SDK code, you are on fire. Look how easy it is from now on in. You come into your like button, okay, and you've done that. So all you need is this little piece of code here. We copy that code, head over to our page, paste that code, okay, and click publish. And then let's view that page. Does anybody else use LastPass and find it one of the most annoying things in the world? And there is my like button. There's my FB Social plugin page, and there's my like and my send button. Okay, boom, it's in there straight away. So if I now click, if other people can go to that page, actually, that would be awesome. Unfortunately, I haven't done the permalinks, so it's a bit of an odd link. But if I send you this, right, just as a, you'll have to go into Facebook, obviously, and wipe this off, because it's going to show on your Facebook pages, right? So if you can just come and click like, okay, you can even look test post, okay, and you could even put on webinar now, learning how to do this, and post that to Facebook. If I go over now to my Facebook page, boom, there we go, test post. There is my link, my like, my story that's on my Facebook page. Just like that. There's my like button. I love it when a plan comes together. Okay, Channing, I'm not going to go through how to create a WordPress blog tonight, I'm afraid. Sorry, that's a different webinar. Tonight's just about adding your social plugins, okay? And when you put in the JavaScript, you need to take anything out. No, not at all. You just put the JavaScript in underneath that body tag, okay? And that's it. So if a couple of people could like this page, that would be awesome, because then when I refresh, hopefully I should see faces. Because I did click, there we go, look at that, show faces, and there we go. There it is working, and if I click on the send button, I can now go and send that to a friend, a group, or an email address and send the message as well. Okay? Alright, so that's our like button. But check this out, guys. Okay? This is where it just gets amazing. Alright? This is where it just gets amazing. Let's go back to our like buttons. Click OK. We've added our like button. Fabulous. Thanks very much for that. Now let's go back to social plugins. Now I want to add some other stuff, okay? So for instance, let's go down here and add the comments plugin. So let's click on comments. Okay, so we want the URL that we want people to comment on. Now somebody asked earlier, does it have to be the URL of your page, or can it be, oh, and notice what I did, guys, this is interesting, I forgot about that. Does it have to be the URL of your page, they asked, or can it be any URL? Well, it can be any URL, any URL at all, but if you're putting a like button on a page or a comments box on a page, people are liking that post or that page. So if you put a like button on a page and it leads to a completely different page, then you've got to ask yourself, what are people liking? Yeah, or people are probably going to ask, well, I didn't just like that, I liked the page I was on. Yeah, but notice what I did in the like button. This is now the message on my wall is showing just the post, because in the like button I actually placed the entire web page, the entire website, not the web page. I didn't post this URL, yeah, because I hadn't created it yet. So if I actually go back here to social plugins and go to the like button again, and I'm going to do this really quickly and just put that in there as the URL to like, okay, because that's my actual test page, and then click get code, and all I need now is this little code down here. I do not need the JavaScript, okay, and then go back and place that underneath, okay, and update. Somebody said you can preview the page before you see it. You can, but I don't think, I can't remember because I did it a few days ago, but I'm pretty sure that when I click preview, the Facebook plugins don't actually work properly. Oh, I think it's because I'd used the actual page. So of course preview isn't the actual page. You need to have published the page in order to actually use the correct page URL. That was what it is. Obviously you need to have the page published in order to use the correct page URL to be able to put into your plugin. Now if I click like, okay, and go test post again and post to Facebook, and then come over here and refresh. Now what I've got is my actual FB social plugin page, yeah, as opposed to just the, the site title. Alright, I've actually got the page that I want to like, not just the actual blog. Okay, so that URL is very specific to what you want people to like. So now if we head back over here, click OK, click back to social plugins, click on comments, and if I go and put that URL in here, okay, oh no, not that URL, sorry. Go and grab my Facebook, this page here. It's annoying actually that I didn't put the permalinks in, but never mind. Put that on there, okay, and let's put number of comments 10, and I'm just going to leave all of that and click get code. So I've just put in my URL I want people to comment on, and then I've just put 10 there for the number of comments I want to show, and then I'm clicking get code. Guess what I need? Do I need any of this stuff? All I need is this bit down here. Okay, now don't worry that it's reverted to a different app ID. I just noticed that as we came in. Don't worry, because we've already set up the JavaScript, okay, and the JavaScript is already talking to this page. So we've already set that up, and it has no relevance now to what's going on down here. We're just placing in this code, alright, down here, this little code. So we go back to edit site, and we go and we put our comments wherever we want them to go, and then we click update. Head back to our main page, click refresh, and now there's our comments as well. Okay, so I can put test comment and post to Facebook. There's my comment, it's showing on my page. This would obviously show wherever you want to put it. And I go back to Facebook, click refresh, And there's my test comment. Everybody with me so far? Everybody with me so far? Okay, so let me just have a quick look through the questions. Melissa, I'm using Safari. I'm on Safari right now. So just give it a minute to... Katia, is there a short code for the plugin? We're not using plugins at the moment, Katia. We're just using the actual Facebook social plugin straight off Facebook. So no short codes at the moment. Sam, can you put that anywhere in the site? Yes, you can, Sam. You can put it anywhere you want. But just remember that you must put in the correct URL. Otherwise, what shows on people's pages may be something entirely different. Okay? Ali, if you're talking about the JavaScript, it's directly under the body tag, and you obviously I'm recording this, so you can go back to that bit and see. Great, refreshed and it worked. Melissa's got hers working. Awesome. Oh, can see it on Safari. Wonderful. Yep, Helena, have you been following along and doing this as we've been going along? That's awesome if you have. I'm really, really happy if you have. Let's have a quick look. Helena's on a test page. FB social plugin page. Okay. Refreshing. Can't see anything yet, Helena. Fingers crossed that'll pop up in a bit. Jamie, I cannot see the social plugin. Which bit can't you see, Jamie? Ali, so you need to update the URL for every post and every page. Yeah, it depends. Like, so for instance, in the Social Networking Academy, I've actually got the same comments on every page. Yeah, I'm actually using the same comments plugin on every single page in the SNA. I could, if I wanted to, go through and change all of the URLs so every single video was a different comment section. But to be honest with you, I just keep them generic, and then people can just go and comment on the SNA in general. But if I were putting like buttons across my website, you may choose to just have a like button that's the URL of your website. Yeah, and then have that through your website, and then when people click like, they're just kind of liking your site. Or you can pick and have like buttons very specifically for each page, or anything like that. Okay. Helena said I can't get the plugins to show on my site. Yes, Melissa, the Java talks to the whole web page because it's in the header. It talks to the whole website. Yep, that's absolutely it. That you've got it in one. If you have a web, I've just answered that one, so that's fine. Do we have to do this? Paste the plugin for every page you post, every time you post. For this particular, because I'm doing that, that's why there's a WordPress plugin which we're going to have a look at next. Okay, so basically Facebook have made it easier for us. For this particular function, you have got to go and put this manually on yourself. I just wanted to show you how to do this so you could see how the code works, see how everything works, and now they're obviously Facebook have got an easier one for us. Okay. Great. Just looking at your questions. Great. Okay. Yeah. This can be on a post or a page. It can be on any web page at all. Okay. Okay. Helena, Joe, I just don't get the plugins to show on my site. I'm not sure why, Helena, but there's lots of people on this call, so I'm going to have to look at that separately, my love. Okay. It might be, yeah, it might be the JavaScript in the header section. Might be where you've put it. Okay, cool. Okay. All right. So, oh, sorry. Please repeat the question. Sorry, Robert. I'm really bad at that. Do you know, I've been asked that before and I forget. Okay. Yes, I will. Okay, I will repeat the question first. All right. So, oops, I nearly closed the webinar down. Then hold on a second. So basically, now you've put in that JavaScript code, and I'm not going to go through every social plugin, but you can now do this for all the different plugins down here. Okay, so if I went into subscribe button, then I could just put in again the URL, okay, of the page, and go over here to the subscribe. And oh no, actually, sorry, my mistake. The subscribe button's slightly different. Sorry, my mistake. I was just about to put in the URL of the web page. The subscribe button is you're trying to get people to subscribe to you on Facebook. Yeah? So with the subscribe button code, you actually need to put in your Facebook profile. Okay? Yeah, I'm going to drink it. It's alright, Rex just brought me a cup of tea. So for instance, mine would be Joe Barnes online, facebook.com/Joe Barnes online. Okay, and then you come in here and as normal you just get your code. Okay, and then I would go and put that on my page. So remember, with the subscribe button you're actually putting in your own profile in order to encourage people to subscribe to you. That would be the URL you put in there. Okay, so there's two different ones. So that's the subscribe button, so I'm going to click update there. And then probably actually the most important one that you guys need to know is the like box. Okay, that's really important that you have that on your page. And oh, there we go. There's there's the comments. Awesome. So there's my subscribe button. Okay, so you can now subscribe to me. If you haven't subscribed to my page yet, please do. As you can see, I've got 10,159 subscribers. So yeah, so that's your subscribe. Okay, but as I said, probably one of the most important ones is your like box, because this one is not covered in the WordPress plugin, and it is something that you do need on your site in order to encourage people to come and like your Facebook page. So if I click on like box, the URL you're putting in here is the URL of the Facebook page that you want people on your website to like, yeah? And to see. So I'm putting in the Social Networking Academy. You're going to make it the width of your widget, whatever that is on WordPress, okay? So let's just make that 225 for now. Okay, and what you can choose is whether you want the stream showing or whether you want the header showing or not, and you can play around with these and tick and untick. But then when you click get code, okay, what you want is you want this code going wherever you want the like box to go. So if I just come in here and shove it down here for now, okay, that is obviously going to show on this main page at the bottom. So there's our like box. But what you would want to do obviously is put it in the sidebar. So to do that, to put it in the sidebar of your WordPress blog, you would actually come over to widgets. Where's my widgets? Here we go. Appearance and widgets. If you click on widgets, okay, and you can see there's a sidebar. Okay, which actually isn't showing on my page, so I'm not sure this is going to. I haven't set up this blog at all. But what you'd do is you'd move this text bar across, okay, and then you could put the code in there, all right, in your text box, and then click save. And obviously you can move this wherever you want it to go on your main sidebar, okay. And if I go back to my pages, I'm not sure it's going to show on my page because I haven't set up the sidebars properly. No. Wonder if it will show on the home page. Yeah, there it is. There you go. So there's my sidebar now on my home page. Okay, so I've done that by going into widgets and adding that little widget text box and putting in the code in there. Okay. Alright guys, it is already just gone past the hour. I said this was going to be a 90-minute webinar. So what I want to do now is go across and actually show you how to use the Facebook WordPress plugin. Okay? Oh, that's a good question, Nevada. I'm going to have to get Neil to answer that one. I'm not sure. Neil, Nevada's asking, can we do the social plugin in a different language, i.e. French?
Yes, you can, but it's in a lot of the relationships are to do with the Facebook, also the language you've already got set up on your Facebook account, and also the WordPress language functions you can use as well. Now, obviously, some of the text you may need to mildly edit, but things like obviously the like, I don't know if the like button would come up and things. I think they do actually. Yes, I think the buttons also come up in the general groups of 27 languages. I think something like that. So generally speaking, yes.
Generally speaking, yes, Nevada. Okay, but we're not gonna go through that now. But generally speaking, yes. Okay, so quick question to everybody. Can you tell me, are you currently using the Facebook WordPress plugin? Has anybody used the Facebook WordPress plugin?